No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
At the highest levels of government, they've plotted our demise.
All right, welcome back to Black Talk Radio News. There is a independent artist by the name of Sincere No Quarry. He sent that in to us. He made a beat tape that he said was inspired by listening to Black Talk Radio Network. So we certainly appreciate any kind of media production that's going to lead to people understanding what the problems is, all the different weapons that they use against us. So again, talking about the legacy of Barack Obama, just on that right there, you heard Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about the power of rap music. We've had on and we will have on continuously on this network Brother Kwabena Rasuli from Clear the Airways Project, which is based up there in Chicago as well. And they have been protesting against the killer radio stations that put on that type of music that plants those kind of murder messages, misogynistic messages into the minds of the people in that Chicago radio market. And these are the stations that target black people. You will not find any programming that white people are likely to listen to. They're not hearing messages of go blow somebody's face off. They not hearing their women being called the B word or the H word. They're not hearing any, but you're not hearing that kind of programming. So that's what Minister Farrakhan is talking about. So how is Scotty connecting that with the legacy of CEO Barack Obama, his administration, and him personally? Well, if you do recall all throughout his campaign, both of them, and the type of music artists he was inviting to the White House and showcasing in front of the world and bringing them up in there with his family and all that, the Lil Waynes, the Jay-Z's of the world, who have for a long time been working for white corporations, music corporations, producing this music with lyrical content that poisons the minds of the masses. So I've already seen hip-hop articles that's being put out talking about Barack Obama's hip-hop legacy. So I will tie him to that and not using his power of the executive branch to put pressure on the FCC, which I do believe he appointed the FCC chairman, Tom Wheeler, who is retiring now, and got him confirmed, and to get the FCC to simply enforce the community standards, broadcasting standards rules. We're not talking about internet. We're not talking about satellite radio that people pay for, where people, can expect it. They may hear a cuss word here or there, and their language isn't regulated except for by the platforms that they are on. But on the public airways, when I'm just got a car that isn't Wi-Fi connected, and I just got a regular transistor radio in that car, which is millions of cars now. And I I turn on the radio, that antenna is going to look to pick up a signal from a much bigger and powerful antenna, and I'm going to receive their programming, whatever they're broadcasting over the airways. You got to have a federal license. You have to go through a process. It has to be renewed. It's not a lifetime license, but you have to get a federal license in order to broadcast. Being that you are taking advantage of the public airways that the good people of USA, trapped behind the enemy lines of USA Inc., are subsidizing, okay, you are going to adhere to certain community standards. First Amendment does not apply with obscene language on the public airways. If you want cable, if you want obscenity, you can pay for that and get plenty of corporations willing to provide you with that type of content. So we're talking about terrestrial radio stations. I hope that I'm making myself clear, that there's no misunderstanding. It is not about free speech. It is about the poisoning of non-white communities and black communities, specifically by white-owned corporations. But also you have Kathy Hughes of Radio One or whatever. She has so many subsidiaries, but they operate stations too. They operate gospel stations. They operate what I call corporate talk radio stations, where they're relying on advertisers. So they're not going to call out these corporations like they should for their human rights violations and their participation in utilizing prison slave labor. All right, so you're not going to hear that kind of talk. But guess what? They also have their so-called hip-hop and rap stations. So if I'm going to point the fingers at the racist cracker over there running iHeartRadio or any white corporation that has a black radio station that they control, they own, they control the programming that's targeting black people, if I'm going to point them out, I'll also, because in the mind of the racist cracker, they're going to say, well, look at what you're doing to yourselves. So again, I am an equal opportunity criticizer, or whatever you want to call it. I run a nonprofit that was started because we are concerned about the media targeting black people. And so it's been a big disappointment that President Obama has not shown the moral, and I don't like to get into the morality. I allow people to practice their religion or don't practice religion, but we're talking about public airways. We got to talk about what we all can agree upon. And I think most right-thinking adults should agree that we don't want to hear people call I was about to cuss, call them B's and H's and talk about blowing people face off or dealing drugs or slipping drugs into some unsuspecting woman's drink. All of that is sponsored by corporations. Corporations own the station. McDonald's is the #1 advertiser on these killer radio stations. That means that they support the content, and so, but yet you will still go to them and take your dollars, and they're funding. They're all part of this. They're all part of this machine. This machine, like Minister Farrakhan was talking about, people at the highest level. He said government, but corporations are plotting certain people's destruction. That's what the evidence says.